What's up, everybody, and welcome to what will be the second penultimate, I suppose, stream before the start of the season now. There'll be one today, one on Thursday. It's kind of getting to crunch time now, or panic time for some people, myself included. I don't know, I'm at a point in my team where I've got a few too many placeholders and maybe haven't made enough decisions. I'm calling this stream the Firmino Draft. As you'll see from my team, I currently have Firmino. I'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, who's in today? Oh yeah, I've got the chat on the stream now. There's quite a few calls for that, so hopefully you can see it clearly enough. So I'm looking now on the actual stream if it looks alright. Yeah, I think you can read that. Readable for those watching after. The only quick thing I suppose I wanted to not discuss, not clarify, talk about. Let's just talk about. So, I've had a few comments about the length of the streams. Now, the main reason I usually go over an hour is if there's people in and chatting. You know what I mean? Like last stream, there was like 160 people watching still when I ended it. That was after 2 hours. So, for anyone that doesn't like watching that long, who doesn't watch live, all I'd say is, after about an hour, the questions start to repeat themselves. So I don't tend to change my advice during the stream. So if you've already heard all the questions you want to after an hour, switch off if you feel like it. I mean, 2 hours each time is quite long, I know. Thursday, because it's the deadline day, or the evening before the deadline day, whatever, it might even be longer than 2 hours. We'll see how long I can stay up with work the next day. But yeah, just wanted to quickly address that. Let me see if I can see. If I move that, okay, cool. Just want to be able to see the chat myself. Okay. For anyone who watches after, speed up to 1.5. Really not too bad to listen to. Nice advice, Jeff. I've never actually listened to a video on 1.5, so we'll see. How's it going, Andrew? What's up, Physio? Where is Danilo playing? Who knows with Pep? Could be like forward by the time we get going. We'll see. You're on holiday this week. Pure coincidence. That's a good coincidence, though. Although, I feel like if I was on holiday, I'd just spend the whole week thinking about FPL. Even more than I usually do. How's it going, Abu? Those complaining should have experienced the 4-hour streams. Streamer. Yeah, that was only once. Surprised that went on for so long. I was pretty drunk, though, so probably explains it, really. Already 150 people in it. Jesus. Anyone think it's FPL week? Yeah, for anyone that hasn't already seen, I'm going to stream tonight. Going to do the showdown on Wednesday. Now, I'm going to speak to the guy that's coming on. I can't remember if it's Tom or Nick. One of those two from Who Got the Assist. I might see if they want to stay on a bit after it's finished. And then either I can cut that part later, or I can just leave it on and say in the video that it's ended, we can just answer some questions. So we'll see. And then Thursday, like I said, definitely be a stream then. For sure. And yeah, anyone who hasn't already noticed, top right hand corner, we got some polls. So go ahead and vote. Just click the little eye in the top right hand corner. I think, let me just double check what we went for tonight. So we've gone for, can Tom Carroll be a fourth midfielder? I think that's going to pick up pace as we get towards the deadline. As people see they can save money and put it into, like, I don't know, get an Alonso or someone like that. Best budget Saints defender, had that requested by a few people. Basically best 5 million, so we cut Bertrand out of that. Best 7 million midfielder, I know there's some I haven't included, but that's just the way it goes. There's not enough space to fit in more than 5 options. And can Gabbiadini redeem himself? Obviously scored and assisted in the pre-season friendly the other day, so started to become, I don't know, not super popular, but a few people have put him in his team, their teams, myself included, at one point. I don't know, I think you kind of fall into two camps with Gabbiadini. If you got him in for the double, then you probably won't want him in now. If you didn't, you'd maybe give him a chance, I think. How's it going, Twisted? Obviously, Thomas is loving Gabbiadini. Oh, I just realised it's any Smokes. It's not Amy. I thought it was Amy a whole last stream. How's it going, Jeff? Jamie Davern, welcome. Last season's league winner. A few people have been asking me for the code actually for the league. Let's Talk FPL League. It's in the description of every video I've done this season, so all good. All right, let me see if I can keep up with the chat. Actually, can I get rid of this one? So I've had to mess around with how it displays on the stream, but it means for me it's harder for it to read. Ah, yeah, cool. Found a different way to do it. So okay, before I start asking questions, I know there's loads of questions being answered right now. So let me just quickly go through my team, right? So it's called the Firmino Draft. For anyone that follows me on Twitter, you would have seen me tweet out earlier. I called it something different. This is the I can't be asked deciding on a cheap third forward draft. So basically I put Firmino in. I know I had J-Rod for ages. I'm kind of going off him a bit. I mean, it is West Brom attack. I remember on the Scoutcast lows last year, I kept going against kind of West Brom attack. I know I had Phillips for a bit and Brunt obviously in defence, but that was a different story really. Gabbiadini maybe, but I'm worried about what happened last year. I do think it's different now though. New manager, freshish. He hasn't been there for the whole pre-season. So I don't know. So placeholders really is goalkeepers. I'm probably only spending 9.5, maybe 10. I can't decide on goalkeepers yet. I don't know where I downgrade to get the money. Kane and Lukaku obviously definites. Danilo that spot is basically going to be a 5.5 million defender. But Trippier's kind of ballsed it up really. Do I want to just go straight for Davies? I don't know. Will they play 3 at the back with what's his name, Trippier injured? I don't know. He said that Walker Peters wasn't going to play, so I don't know about that. Ward-Prowse is new in. That's basically a 5.5 million midfielder spot. I'm still not sure if I like that, to be honest. I'm tempted just to play Carroll as a 4th mid and bank the extra 1 million, but not really sure where I'd put it. Now, someone said to me earlier I could just bank it, which is absolutely true. But who wants to bank 1 million going into the first game week? It's just, as much as I said boring picks sometimes work, that does sound a bit boring. And then Zaha is basically a 7 million midfielder placeholder. Currently he's probably top of my favourites for 7 million midfielders. I'm kind of in two minds there, because I'm thinking last year he was pretty cheap. Or he's cheaper, and I didn't really consider him that much. And now he's more expensive, I am. But I got to take into account that FPL, increased quite a few prices, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. Stevens as well is probably a placeholder, but I like Stevens if he's going to play. Am I picking Firmino because he may get penalties? I mean, that is a tiny consideration, but I don't think he's going to get them. I don't necessarily think he's going to get them as in be number 1 choice, but there's obviously a chance Milner doesn't play. I just got this feeling that Klopp actually really likes Milner and that he's going to fit him in, but we'll see. You don't trust Zaha? I mean, I think out of all the 7 million mids, he's pretty decent for points per game. Fantastic front 3 after weeks of tinkering. That's what you said. So, James, you got the same front 3 as me, have you? I feel like Firmino as well is an easy downgrade. Do you know what I mean? There's not probably, unless Morata starts firing, which seems unlikely from the off, there's not really anyone I'm going to need to get in. Aguero or Jesus maybe, but that's a lot of money to find. And it would mean getting rid of De Bruyne anyway. So yeah, I mean, Firmino can become anyone cheaper. Am I set on Mkhitaryan over Pogba? No. To be honest, that's probably going to go right down to the wire. I've also considered just not having a Man United midfielder at all. If they both play, I really do prefer Mkhitaryan, but obviously we know it's potentially an issue. Thinking about downgrading Mkhitaryan. I don't know, I'm kind of going off 7 million midfielders completely, so I could go down to a 6 million and like do Firmino to Jesus or something like that. But I just don't know. Surely Rooney is a better shout than Firmino. Yeah, Everton's fixtures are awful though to start off with. I'm just not sure I want to go with it from the off. Will I do a rate my team tomorrow? Probably not, to be honest. I generally find that rate my teams, the only thing I'll do in a rate my team is if there's something really bad that stands out. Otherwise it's kind of your team. If you're happy with it, then so am I, really. Do you know what I mean? If someone sends me a team with, I don't know, Rooney in, then I'd say just double check the fixtures. If you're happy with that, then go ahead. Or if they sent me, I don't know, I can't think off the top of my head now. Kante, you see teams with Kante, and then yeah, I'd say that's not a good pick. But generally, most people are happy with their own teams. It's game week 1. None of us really know anything. We're just all basing it off what ifs most of the time. Hate to break it to you. Do I not like Mooney? So Mooney seems to be getting talked about a lot recently. And when I say recent, I mean the last couple of days. Decent pre-season, decent fixtures, 6 million. I kind of told myself I'd steer clear of newly promoted sides, so currently don't have him, but that might change. The two players I'm kind of, I wouldn't say worried about, but I'm thinking about is Ali and Ericsson. They seem to have just disappeared from kind of people's teams, and surely they're going to go big again. I just think, I'm like I said on previous streams, I don't buy the Wembley thing. I think so much is being put into the fact that Wembley's a bigger pitch, but really the reason they've done bad is because they've been difficult fixtures. Surely there must be like cup games and stuff, which are always going to be difficult. Playing Burnley at home, or playing Burnley at Wembley in a Premier League match is completely different to like an FA Cup match or whatever. Am I still a believer in the West Brom defence? No, honestly, goalkeepers I'm really struggling with. I cannot decide what to go with. I've even thought about getting a 5 million keeper. Nobody has mentioned Daley Blind. He's only 5.5 million with great fixtures. I just had a thought actually. I don't really need to read out the questions anymore, do I? People can just read the chat. Anyway, just in case you're only listening, not watching. So Daley Blind, he's only 5.5 million with great fixtures. Always good for bonus points. Any thoughts? If I thought he was nailed, he'd be in my team. But you just don't know. The Super Cup might help us. But I don't know if he's going to play left back. Looking at my side, if I'm prepared to play Carroll as a 4th mid, James Ward-Prowse to a 4.5, and Danilo to 4.5, that gives me Jesus instead of Firmino. I don't know, that sounds like a lot of downgrading just to get Jesus. But Man City could smash it. Darmian will start over Blind, surely. That seems probably more likely, especially if we play 3 at the back. But again, you just don't know for sure, so... Don't you think eeriness is a must-have? Is that a player I've missed? When United sign Bale, they're not signing Bale. Would he be the most expensive player on the game? More than Kane? No, I don't think he would actually. I think he'd come in at 12, maybe 12.5. I don't think they'd put him higher than Kane. Looking at my team, don't you think Salah and Gabbiadini will outscore Mkhitaryan and Firmino? That's basically what I swapped from. So yeah, quite possibly. I don't know, I kind of like Gabbiadini for the fixtures. I don't know if I'd triple up on Southampton though. Josh King for 7.5 million, good value for a striker. Maybe, I mean, he's not going to have penalties or anything though. Defoe's going to be the main man there. What do I think about Mane? I like him. I think he's going to be just as good as he was last year. Don't see any reason why he wouldn't be, really. Is Cedric not better than Stevens? In what sense, I suppose? Like, Cedric potential for assist, playing as a fullback, But Stevens, I think he's got good goal threat. If you watch him end of last season, it's kind of always, the balls always seem to be coming to him in the box, and he's pretty decent for bonus points as well. If Stevens is nailed, I think he's my preferred 5 million from Southampton. Ward-Prowse is still a rotation risk you'd avoid until settled. It is a it is a tricky one. That 5.5 million spot, I don't really like it, to be honest. I mean, people have been talking about that Gross guy. Grosch, I don't know, German pronunciation is bad. But yeah, he's another option, but does nobody like Joe Hart? I do, actually. I was trying to figure out who he rotates with earlier. I didn't quite look it up, but yeah, I'd be kind of tempted by him. I don't like their opening fixtures, though. Firmino is cheaper than the top Liverpool mids. He might not get the goals with some forwards, but he'll get the assists. The problem with that is, though, forwards get less bonus points for assists than they do as... Like, he'll get less bonus points for his assists than he does when he was a midfielder, I think. And more for his goals. He's a great price, though, to jump onto Benteke, Defoe, Batshuayi, Hernandez, yeah, exactly. Or Wayne Rooney. Have you not thought about Walters? All joking aside, he's playing up front and listed in midfield at 5.5. Burnley have very nice home games. I know, but how many goals are Burnley going to score? Oh, is that wrong about the bonus points? Okay. Assists are the same for all players. Fair enough. That's kind of handy then. Gross is pronounced like Cruz, so Grues. Is it? Okay, cool. So they're exactly the same. Alright, fair enough. So there's only one less point then. Well, apart from if he scores the goal, it's extra bonus points, I suppose. But I am right in saying that a forward gets more bonus points for their goals. Yeah, okay. But obviously less for the actual goal. Danilo isn't a starter. I mean, he should start the first few games. I'm just thinking, how many goals City going to score straight on? I just wonder if he's a good option. Yeah, the chat is going fast. There's like 260 odd people watching. I think it's probably going to be the most popular stream ever. Ward-Prowse was your fantasy island risk and he scored last year. I don't know if he scored. He did something though. But I think I picked him more than once. I could be wrong with that. Don't forget, all these people watching, if you're enjoying it, hit the like. Hit the like button, that'd be appreciated. And subscribe if you're new. I think we're close to 1,700 subs now. 1699. Get prepared for Thursday's night stream. I know, it's going to be chaos. I tell you what, like, by Thursday, I better fucking have my team sorted. I've really got to nail it down this week. Willian, okay, so let's talk about Willian and Chelsea in general. I kind of got really put off by Chelsea and Arsenal in the Charity Shield. Now, I know you shouldn't base it on one game, but I just worry about Chelsea without Hazard. I also think they really miss Costa. Batshuayi is just not the same player. Willian, okay, he was alright, but he's not Hazard. Fabregas just didn't dictate anything like he usually does. But I'd say that's probably because Arsenal actually played alright for most of the game anyway. So, against easier teams, Fabregas would probably excel, but it just put me off a little bit. Alonso, I mean, if you based it just on that game, you wouldn't get him, but I'm sure he's going to be bombing forward more in easier games. But yeah, Arsenal, I like Kolasinac, mainly because I think I've nailed the pronunciation of his surname. I kind of like Monreal at 5.5 as well. There's a few, he wasn't obviously playing like a wing-back, but there was a few times where he was still going forward and getting the ball in. He's only 5.5 and he's probably nailed as well. So Monreal's are looking. But other than that, I like Iwobi if he's going to play, but how long is he going to play for? As soon as Sanchez and Ozil are back, then surely that's Iwobi and Welbeck out of the team. See, I kind of got... I don't know, I'm not really that bothered about going for anyone from Arsenal and Chelsea right now. Apart from maybe Kolasinac. Will I be streaming Friday night? Nah, because by that point the deadline will be gone. People will be watching the Arsenal match. Yeah, Pedro, 8 million could be okay. I just think I prefer getting a Mkhitaryan. But that is me, like I'm a bit biased. Everyone knows that. Kolasinac with a header, yeah. I don't know, he just looks like an absolute tank, that guy. Do I not think Bertrand 5.5 and Valencia 6.5 are must-haves with their fixtures and attacking potential? So I like Bertrand 5.5. If I had the 0.5 spare, I'd probably use it for him. Valencia, I'm not sure about 6.5. I'm not convinced his attacking potential is actually that good. Fixtures are good though. Am I locking down my team on Thursday stream? I'll be honest, I kind of like to get it locked down before the stream because I'm going to get asked so many questions about it. If I try and do it on stream, it'll just be manic. And plus I won't get to as many questions. Which is always a worry. Like, even right now I'm struggling to get on a bit. Lacazette hit the post, he did, but... I mean, him and Arsenal, I suppose, after about 30 minutes, kind of went off the boil a bit. I don't know, I don't want to spend 10.5 on him, I want to wait. Alonso's expensive for a reason, yeah, agreed, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of, I know I've talked about this in the last few streams, there's a lot of kind of Alonso 7 million, he's much better than 7 million mid, but I suppose you're hoping for the mid to do better over the short term and then to ship, whereas Alonso's like a season-long pick almost. Yes, he's going to get good points per game, but not necessarily explode every other week. Alonso not even nailed. Yeah, he did come off of Rudiger. I don't know if that's going to be an issue. Apparently they're in the market for another left back. I don't know if that's true either. And we're not fancying De Gea for United defence. Cover seems pretty nailed. Well, yeah, he's absolutely nailed. There's no question about that. I don't know if I want to spend 5.5 on a goalkeeper, to be honest. But he's a good option if you want to cover the defence. Is Ben Davies nailed? Yeah, while Rose is out, he is. For sure. I wonder actually if Rose was back anytime soon. And I don't actually know what's going on there. Again, he's out for a bit longer than he ever originally was supposed to. Obviously, I know he had surgery. I think he had surgery. I wonder if Ben Davies might play right back. If Rose is back, anyway. I know, I'm a bit tempted by Davies. I read an article about him earlier. Obviously, we all know what he's like. He was good for me last year. Thoughts on Fosu Mensah at Palace for 4.5? Yeah, he'd be tempting for me, especially with their starting fixtures. I think Scott Dan, is he 5 million? Is he definitely going to play? He's usually pretty good for a goal. Spurs may go 4 at the back with Trippier out. Yeah, that kind of worries me a bit, to be honest. Trippier should be back by the weekend. The injury wasn't as severe as they made it look. Yeah, I guess we can wait for the press conferences to 100% check that. Rudiger went centre back and Azpilicueta went left back. Fair enough. I mean, the thing is, we can't really tell much off one game anyway. Maybe he wanted to rest him and he thought Moses was going to do better down that side, maybe. Dinnery said he was a doubt. Yeah, I don't think he's got any inside info though. I think he's just going off articles, so he's going to have to wait to the press conference, same as all of us. Midfielders are proven to have better FPL point potential every season. Why not play a 3-5-2 with a packed midfield and a decent forward duo? It is a consideration. I don't know if it's proven every year that they're better. I mean, I think there's enough forwards that they could potentially compete this year. We'll have to see. The problem with 3-5-2 is your third forward who's on the bench is basically a dud. Because you don't really want to spend more than 4.5 on someone you're going to bench. I mean, you could. That means you're splitting funds more between your team. I should really go for Pogba. You're right. Because I talked about him so much. Please explain my choice of Stevens versus Yoshida. I think Yoshida's got better goal threat and better bonus points potential. Simple as that, really. The problem comes when either Van Dijk stays, and that doesn't look likely, but if he does, or if they'll need to buy another defender. So who misses out then between Yoshida and Stevens? I mean, from a fan's point of view, they seem to prefer Stevens, but that doesn't mean the manager does. Thoughts on Matt Phillips? Yeah, he was a big favourite in my team for a while. I'm getting a bit put off by West Brom. But the fixtures are good. Might come back to him. I actually, before stream, I was messing with my team and I put him in for Mkhitaryan to upgrade defence, I think. Yeah, I know he handed in the transfer request. Doesn't mean he's definitely going to go, but it looks quite likely. At least if he gets his own way. Not worried about West Brom's 13 goals conceded in 9 pre-season games. Yeah, I have kind of gone off West Brom defence a bit. I just haven't really nailed down a goalkeeper pair that I like. It's probably the hardest position for me. You know, there's a bunch of defenders I quite like. There's a bunch of midfielders I like. Strikers are pretty set. What is Super Chat? It's like it's basically like a way of donating. You can have your message comes up in the chat like highlighted. Explain my choice for Mkhitaryan. He isn't nailed for a starting position, so that is true. But I'm hoping he's going to start. Now, that doesn't mean he'll be there on Thursday when I try and finalise my team. But if he is going to play, I really like him with our fixtures. So I'm kind of almost... He's almost like a bit of a punt for me. I just think game week 1, I'm not going to lose the whole thing in 1 week. So maybe try something. Maybe get in the players that I like. And I like Mkhitaryan. Just check the Fantasy Football Scout members area, player stats, and compare Yoshida versus Stevens at goal threat. I'm going to assume that means Yoshida is out on top. But I mean, just watching a few games last year, Stevens was all over it at corners. What can I tell us about our new series? Basically, I'll be facing off against someone from the community to beat them. We'll wait till Wednesday. We'll see. Just a bit of fun, really. Something a bit different as well. Why Daniels weren't his goals from penalties. I don't think he took any penalties last year. Also, he's pretty good like for assists as well, I think. Can I show you my mods and cons draft? I didn't. It's actually today, the draft tonight, and I didn't join. Stream with the missus was great, thank you. She enjoyed it. She actually, I don't know if you were in the other stream the other day, but I said she all thought you were very nice. She almost sounded surprised. Am I not worried about having no United defence? No, not really. Yes, they'll be highly owned. Yes, they'll probably keep clean sheets, but I don't know if they're good value for money. Kane never shows up at the start of the season. We'll see. I think this season will be different. Yeah, I had issues with the draft last night. In fact, I had a draft with my mates and we didn't get to complete in the end. Absolute nightmare. So just gave up with it. Another reason it kind of put me off doing the scout one tonight. The mods one. I think it's been working fine for everyone now, but I just couldn't be asked. The problem is I'm already in like 2 and I've got another one coming up, I think. That's 3. I won't manage all those teams. Do you think not having Kane is a big mistake? No, not necessarily. Broken record comment, you can't have everyone. Exactly. Why is Zaha such an assured pick? I mean, he's like, maybe apart from Benteke, he's like the main man at Crystal Palace. They got really nice home fixtures to start. It's only 7 million. Yes, that's more than last year, but in comparison to all the other midfielders, it's a pretty nice price. United have some extremely winnable opening fixtures. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I hate the Kane stuff. Now, I'm biased because I want him on my team. So, yes, I'm arguing from a position of I want him to do well. But also I have him in my team because I think he'll do well. So, like, how can a player that scored 20 plus goals 3 seasons in a row not be able to score in August? I mean, if he doesn't score in August, it's not because it's happened before, it's just coincidence. Like, it's just ridiculous. All he needs is a penalty. And what, he's going to miss it just because it's August? It's fucking, it's the worst, honestly, I think it's the worst argument ever. And the problem is, if he doesn't score, you're going to have all those smart asses. Well, he never scores in August. Also, August is the shortest month. How many game weeks are there in August? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. That's it. There's 4 in September. He's already got more chances in September. Sorry to Newcastle fans, but I fucking hope Harry Kane scores a hat-trick. First game of the season. I just love it. I would love it if that happens. What's my main job? I like community manager stuff. Oh, 302 watching. Got to screen cap that. Hang on a second, lads. Actually, I'll lose all the viewers when I start like opening up paint. It's the fixtures. 2 blanks in a row can happen. New pro team will be up for it. Then it's good Chelsea defence. So I'm not saying that Kane will 100% score. I'm just saying to argue that because it's August he can't score is ridiculous. It's exactly the same as everyone at the end of last season saying Lukaku's got an awesome record against West Ham and then he didn't score. And I tell you now, this week there'll be loads of tweets giving us his record versus West Ham, and it won't matter. It won't matter a bit. If he scores, it's just because it's a good fixture, he's in a good team, he's a good player, not because he scored against them before. I mean, sure, okay, maybe there's some like mentality behind it, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just not buying it, to be honest. Anyway, yeah, Kane can score in August. It happens. Better happen. Got him on my team. But at the same time, going without him is not necessarily the worst decision in the world. You save like... I mean, most people have got Lukaku, so you're going down to Aguero at least. You save like $1 million, $2 million, depending on who you're going for. Do you not think that Lukaku, giving Lukaku the armband on his opening fixture for his new club is a risk? Hell no, he's got a fucking great record against West Ham. Why would I worry about that? He's going to be all over West Ham. I know obviously I know people bash Joe Hart, but I actually think he's going to be alright. I think he's a better keeper than people give him hope for. Hope. Whatever, I can't even get my words out now. Give him credit for. Surprised people aren't doubling up on Ali and Ericsson. 200 plus players for less than 10 million each. I know, I said that at the start. They've kind of gone out of teams, and I'm not sure it's a good idea, to be honest. Which player am I most scared of not having? I mean, if I take my current team, then Sanchez is right up there. But there's loads. Salah, Mane could smash it. Aguero, Jesus could smash it. Like, there's so many. Hazard when he's back. It's tough, to be honest. Oh my God. Sorry, give me just a sec. There's not really, to be honest, because there's so much choice, I'm not really that scared of not owning anyone. I just know I can't own them. If I was forced to pick one, Ericsson or Ali. I like Ali because he's more likely to score goals, but Ericsson over a long period of time is going to be more consistent, generally. But I mean, that might not be the case this season. So I think I'd suggest Ericsson, but you've got to be happy with either. Pogba or Willian? Well, that's a tough choice because you got to save. You save 1 million with Willian. So I mean Pogba for me, but do a team with. Okay, I can change my team around a bit if you want. Let me just do it in a minute. Am I settled on Foster Elliott? No, I'm struggling for goalkeeper rotation or goalkeeper choice. I'm a bit worried about Foster. I'm still very tempted, to be honest, but I've got to find 0.5 from somewhere just to get Heaton in. Am I tempted by Jones at 5 million? I think he probably will start against West Ham, but excuse me, I'm not tempted. I think you know, there's every chance he doesn't continue starting. But I know he started 18 out of 19 games with fit last year. I remember your stat, but I'm still not that interested, I don't think. I mean, the thing with Foster and Elliott is Foster's got really nice fixtures, as Fozzie says, and I'm probably going to wildcard early enough anyway, so if it goes tits up, I can just get rid of him. Fucking hell, there's so many people watching, I don't know what to do. The pressure's getting to me. Can you see the sweat? My opinion on Alonso, I don't know if I'm prepared to pay 7 million from the off for him, to be honest. If you've got him in though, you can downgrade him to any other defender and use that money, but I'm not going to start with him, I don't think. How do I feel about Jones as a starter? I just said about that, right? 6 clean sheets for West Brom last season. Yeah, but this is the season for 10 plus clean sheets. I mean, you say that like Pulis only got 6 clean sheets. I mean, is there a chance they get more than that this season? I'd say probably. Didn't Burnley only get 10 clean sheets last season? I mean, all of Heaton's points came from save points, right? All that kind of jazz. Do you think you have United bias in your teams? Absolutely. Yes, basically, the short answer. I think last season I had Ibra. I really wanted him on my team, basically. And I had Mkhitaryan for a while. That actually hurt me because I could have had Ali instead. He was the other option. But I did get rid of Mkhitaryan in the end. Like, I didn't stick out of him too long. But yeah, definitely for game week 1, having Mkhitaryan, that's bias. But I want to kind of start with a player I like because I figure I'm not going to lose anything in game week 1. Do you know what I mean? That's not season over for me if Mkhitaryan doesn't do well. Plus, there's at 8 million, there's every chance that one of Mkhitaryan, Martial, or Pogba at some point vastly outscores that. FPL Fever. Emmerdale had less viewers tonight. I missed Emmerdale tonight. I don't even know what happened. Not that I watch Emmerdale. Davies is a Trippier placeholder. Yeah, we talked about Davies earlier, actually. Could be a decent enough choice. And Matt, I'd be interested to know what you think. What am I trying to say? Yeah, so let's say, I don't know when Rose is due back, but let's say he comes back and Trippier's injured. Do you reckon Davis would move over? And plus, if Rose is out for a while, then Davis is probably a good option. You wouldn't even need to swap to Trippier, at least not straight away. It all depends on Rose, I suppose. You do realise this is all moot. We'll all crash and burn by wildcard 3. Exactly. Sorry, game week 3. Yeah, I know. It's going to be funny. Mkhitaryan, and I am biased, yeah, I've said that a few times. He'll do well if he starts, I think. I think we've got a much better... Is Lukaku better than Ibra? No, I can't say he is, but is he going to fit much better into our team? Yes, I think he is. There, I said it. Thoughts on going Kaneless? I think that's an absolutely viable option. Do you know what I mean? You save a lot of money. You can still get another heavy hitter like Jesus or Morata. Probably not Morata actually, but Jesus or Aguero or Lukaku if you don't have him from the off, and use that money elsewhere. But I just think Kane can do the business even against Chelsea, so I'm going to go for it. Tottenham will struggle in Wembley. Why will a group of professional players that finished second in the league last year not be able to play on a slightly increased pitch size for a whole season? I mean, the bigger problem for Spurs, we shouldn't be talking about August or Wembley. We should be talking about the fact they haven't reinforced their team. And when Champions League hits, that could be a problem. What happens when they start getting a couple of injuries? That's a bigger problem than worrying about the size of the Wembley pitch, honestly. Do you know what I mean? Is Eriksen going to suddenly be able to stop passing the ball, like, because the pitch is a bit more? He just hasn't got enough power in his foot to get it that little bit further. I know there's something behind. Obviously, there's something behind playing at your stadium because we always think that players perform better at home than away, etc., etc. But they're going to have to get used to Wembley. It's honestly not a problem for me. The atmosphere, yeah, okay, fair enough. It could happen. I just think Spurs were so good last year. I just think that's going to continue. The bigger problem, I think, is the fact they haven't reinforced anywhere. Son's out injured, Rose is out injured. They haven't replaced Walker. Okay, yes, Trippier can play, but who's his backup? Alright, Philip. When am I going to captain Kane? Oh, Philip, come on, man. Let's stop saying hi. I'm glad you're here. Butland is the forgotten man of fantasy football. Do you know what? That's true. He is forgotten, but Stoke, bit worried about Stoke. Trippier and Davis screams 40 plus goals conceded this season. Come on. Davis was good last year. Oh shit, we're coming up to 400 viewers. That's fucking ridiculous. Excuse the language. Anyway, I think I've moaned about Spurs and Kane enough. Why do I have Danilo? Because I kind of like Man City's chance. What's the record for viewers? So the record's like 260 or something. This is miles past that. I just think City are going to smash it early doors. I think Danilo is going to start the first few games at least. But it is a risk because it's a potential transfer only a couple of game weeks down. Suit ready for tomorrow's Scoutcast. Haven't spoke about that actually. Willian replacement. I mean, I like Zaha right now. Will I put Bernardo Silva in my team? Absolutely not. Not until I see what he's all about. I just think I'm already a bit worried about having De Bruyne in my team, but I think he's probably the safest Man City midfielder. Do I think Coutinho will leave? I don't know on that. That's a tough one right now because apparently Barcelona are in for is it Ousmane Dembele, the French dude? So maybe if they get him, they don't need Coutinho. But then again, they have 220 million to spend, so maybe they'll just go for both. Apparently, Coutinho only wants to leave if it's amicable. Liverpool said they don't want to sell. Liverpool would be crazy to sell him. They just don't have a good replacement. Who are they going to find to cover him this late into the season? I don't know. So yes, I think he's going to stay. To answer that in a shorter form. Was that even the question? I fucking got lost. Patrick Van Arnold. Alright, let's talk about him for a second because a few people have mentioned him. So one, I completely missed that he was playing as a wing-back, so automatically I now like him. But it's still a Crystal Palace defender for 5.5 million. So yeah, I'm quite tempted by Van Aanholt. I mean, to be honest, it's pre-game week 1. I'm tempted by everyone, I suppose. And I can say that for pretty much every player. But yeah, let's just double check the fixtures for Crystal Palace. So yeah, in the first 5, they've got Huddersfield, Swansea and Southampton at home. Burnley away, could be tough, we don't know without Michael Keane. And Liverpool away, but to be honest, I think Palace will score maybe 1 or 2 there. I wouldn't back a Liverpool clean sheet, that's for sure. Van Aanholt is Alonso with more goals and less clean sheets. And you save 1.5 million. Thoughts on Fosu Mensah at 4.5? Yeah, I like Fosu Mensah. I've liked him when I've seen him play for Man United. Do you know what I mean? Where is he going to play, I suppose, is going to be a start. Which actually probably doesn't matter because he's 4.5. So if he plays in midfield, that could be decent. And with the fixtures, I'd be tempted. I think there's probably not too many better 4.5 million options if he's going to get a start every week. Dan is the cheapest to start for Palace. Yeah, if PVA's not being talked about, Dan's not being talked about even more. He has really good goal threat. Well, he has done the last couple of seasons. Zaha to Loftus-Cheek. Nah. Not interested in Loftus-Cheek, to be honest. James Ward-Prowse, the best enabler. Have I considered Fraser? Yes, he was actually in my team till I swapped to Ward-Prowse. I don't know if he didn't start the last game, but I don't think there's anything to worry about there, so I might switch back. Especially as Ward-Prowse, we don't know if he's 100% nailed. Beloved punching? No, not really interested in punching. As a Chelsea fan, it hurts not having anyone, but the truth is they're not good enough. And with Hazard and Costa out, we're toothless. Yeah, I'm not interested in Chelsea right now. Whoa, 400 people watching. Lovely. Welcome to anyone that's not watched before. This is usually what I do, just sit here and talk crap about fantasy football. So if you're enjoying that, hit the like button. And if you're new, hit subscribe. We've actually just gained about 20 subs, which is nice. You're still tempted by the double 4.5 million mid. What formation would that be, though? Because you could play Carroll in a 3-4-3. In fact, actually, while I think about it, for anyone that's currently watching, if you hit the little I button in the top right-hand corner, that'll let you vote on the current polls that we got going. So if you vote now, I'll check out the results in a sec. We can see what they're like. I'm going to have to get beer for Thursday. It's a guarantee. Thoughts on wing-backs? Being stronger than a third striker in 4-4-2. Yeah, it could work. I mean, the problem always is the other player you need to get. So if you're swapping to a defender, you're getting like a really cheap forward who's generally then like a dud. So yes, if he's going to be on the bench every week, that doesn't matter. But if you ever need to call on them, then usually a 4.5 million defender is better than the same price forward. But it could work, especially early doors. Which top 6 team is at least important to get attacking coverage for? I honestly wouldn't worry about coverage too much. Just get the player you think is going to score well. I mean, I don't feel like I have to cover Arsenal or Chelsea because they're players. I don't rate the players that I've got to choose from. Now, if Sanchez was around or Hazard was around and they were both a bit cheaper, then I'd absolutely look at them. Oh, get off Facebook. Or at least turn the volume down. Talk to me about Martial. Now, I think Martial is probably a worse pick than Mkhitaryan, to be honest. Salah is faster. What was that in response to? Too many people being tempted by Gabbiadini, or is it just Thomas making accounts? I reckon it's possibly Thomas. Alright, let's have a quick look at the polls. Let's refresh things here. I always forget where I'm looking. Like, how many times I've done this? I've done this like over 40 times and I still forget where I'm clicking. Okay, so can Tom Carroll be a fourth mid? So over 150 people have voted. So 58% say no, they don't think he's good enough to be a fifth midfielder. 41% say yes. Best budget Saints defender. Wow, so 162 people voted. 59% said Cedric, so they're not buying my Stevens shout. 21% said Stevens and 19% said Yoshida. And then best 7 million mid. So Zaha 50%, 32% say Willian. So there's still quite a lot of love for Willian. 9% say Fabregas, 4% say Wijnaldum, and 3% say someone else. So there's people like Lanzini, Anatovic, etc. And then can Gabbiadini redeem himself? Wow, okay. So 147 people voted, 36% said yes he can. 36% also said they're tempted, but only because of the fixtures. And 27% of you said no. Surprised there's not more no's for that. I think it really does depend whether you add him in the double game week. If you did, it's bad. It sucks being an American Premier League fan because I don't know anyone that I can talk to about English football. There you go, you've got us. Where can you see the poll? In the top right corner of the stream there's like a little eye, you have to hover over it or click there sometimes. And you'll see that you can vote. Gabbiadini's not a great shot. I know, but he's only 7 million, great fixtures. Could he go on another streak like last year? I don't know. The problem is Austin going to come in at any point? Is Gabbiadini going to go off early because Austin's around? It's just it's not clear cut, to be honest, and that's a problem. Yeah, there's a few. We get quite a few Americans, I think, in here, or North Americans. Trippier for who? I mean, there's a few options. You could just go straight for Davies. I'm looking at Danilo. There's John Stones. If you want to spend $5.5 million. Monreal at Arsenal. See you later, Physio. Am I rating teams today? Probably not. To be honest, there's so many people asking questions that if I try and start rating people's teams, I'm gonna be completely just not following the chat. Basically, it's hard enough to do it when I'm just looking at the chat. Joe Hart once ended a season worth 6.9 million on FPL. Wow, is that true? I think Joe Hart is a better keeper than people give him credit for. I think there's just been a few very bad moments, especially for England, where people now hate him. Do you know what I mean? I think Pep got rid of him for not necessarily because he can't save, but because he can't pass, I suppose. We didn't really care about that. For FPL purposes. Big Ricey, I know there's a lot of people. There's now 400 more of you. It's great though. It's nice to see this many people. To be fair, you're probably going to see this many people on Thursday, and then that'll be it. Never see this many people again until next season. Van Dijk to Liverpool for 60 million. That's a lot of money. I mentioned placeholders. Which ones are there in my team? So probably the goalkeepers, although I might try and find another 0.5. Danilo, Stevens. I think Daniels is fairly nailed, to be honest. Ward-Prowse. Zaha maybe, but I think he's probably my favourite 7 million mid. And to be honest, Firmino is probably going to go. I don't know. Alright, you don't need to keep telling me to swap Mkhitaryan for Pogba. I may do that at some point. What am I streaming on Wednesday? I'm doing like a new, I don't know, series, I guess, weekly series where I play someone against in the FPL community. Now I'm thinking I should just stream, but no, I'm going to do that, and we might ask questions afterwards. But I'm going to record it live, so we'll see how it goes. If people like it, we'll keep doing it. If they don't, we'll go away. But I think it's just a bit different than me sitting here telling you who to get in your team, etc. If you ever reach 400 viewers, you send nudes. No one wants to see me nude. Tell me about Kante. Don't get him for your FPL team. Simple as that. Have I talked about Firmino versus Vardy? I've not really considered Vardy, if I'm honest. I don't really like the Leicester fixtures. 8.5 million could be decent. I think he did well for a period last year, but I'm happy to wait on that, to be honest. Cheers, Bilal. Bye, Lau. Apologies if I get that wrong. When's the Scoutcast? Tomorrow. Iwobi, I think Iwobi's too short term. I think once Ozil and Sanchez are back, if they continue with this three at the back formation, so like they're playing like what 3-4-3 or whatever, then the front three are going to be Lacazette, Sanchez, and Ozil, and then behind them it's going to be Xhaka plus a centre mid. Triple Saints, are you mad? You might be mad, yes. We're just chatting about Gabbiadini, Tom. 7 million. I'm not discounting him, let's say that. I currently have Ward-Prowse. I think Southampton defender is fair game. I think a lot of people are going for that. Ward-Prowse is like... He's okay pick, I think, for 5.5. Is there better options? Possibly. If he's going to start, then he could be decent. And then Gabbiadini, that's tough. Who's in charge of the comment section on the Scoutcast? Who mods it? I don't know, John T or Mark, I guess. How am I keeping up with this? It's tough. I'm sure I've missed like a million questions. Kolasinac for Danilo. Yeah, but he's 0.5 more. It's not a straight case of just swapping them. But yes, Kolasinac. Kolasinac? Damn it, I thought I had that. Yeah, he's probably a better pick than Danilo. The budget striker market is so meh. Yeah, you're right. I think so too. There's like a lot of options, but there's not a lot of options I like. This Mooney guy people keep telling me about though. Johnny Brofa, I miss. To be honest, the questions are flying. I'm trying to answer as many as I can, but it's tough to be honest. Yeah, don't write in capital letters. No one likes that on the internet. J-Rod, Tammy, Mooney. Tammy Abraham. It's just not going to happen, I don't think. I know people are liking him. He's like, what, 5.5? What are Swansea's fixtures like? From what I remember, the opening two aren't great. Although isn't one of them against Man United, yeah. If Sigurdsson was playing, I'd rate him for that. Southampton, okay, Southampton away and Palace away, so it's not bad. Okay, they're pretty decent opening fixtures. But how long is Llorente going to be out for, I suppose? Tammy Abraham, 5.5. The problem is you're kind of stuck with him then. There's no other 5.5 million forwards that you'd want. So you'd have to find money to upgrade him. If you leave money in the bank, I wonder if you should just spend that outright straight away. Kane out, Abraham in, frees up lots of funds. Okay. That is true. You could put them into upgrading Abraham. Why should we listen to you? You shouldn't. Not if you want to win FPL. You should turn off right now. Why aren't I considering Forster? I'm considering everyone. But I like the Southampton 5 million defenders. Have I gone off J-Rod? I've kind of gone off West Brom attackers in general, really. It's not to say he won't come back in. But yeah, I don't know right now. What is Mark's team? I have no idea. If you tune into the Scoutcast tomorrow, he might share it with you. Well, I'm sure he'll share it on the Premier League show. One thing people are overlooking with Gabbiadini is that if he fails in the juicy home fixtures, he's an easy swap to Hernandez. West Ham's fixtures after game week 2 are mint. Yeah, I mean, I'm also not sure about Hernandez though. This is the thing. There's no like 7.5 million or below striker that's really standing out for me. I think yes, he's straight in my team. Is there an FPL show that says it? I have no idea. I assume yes, but I have no idea. Great season to go heavy up front. Quite a few people are doing that, yeah. Percentage chance I stay with Firmino. Percentage chance. I mean, I do quite like that team as it sits right there. I mean, who am I massively missing in midfield? I suppose Ali Eriksson or Salah. So there is a chance, but I think it's a slim chance. I just do not like the striker options. Could go 4-4-2, I suppose. How about Atsu for Ward Prowse? Great pre-season form, 2 goals, 4 assists, and Newcastle great fixtures. Yeah, plus you'd save 0.5 million. But is there any chance he gets rotated? Because I was chatting to, or I messaged a Newcastle fan earlier. I can't remember who he said he might get rotated with, but he said it's a possibility, I think. Could be wrong there. Newcastle fans in the chat, tell me if I'm wrong. Once Everton's fixtures are good, Sandro is the 7.5 million forward to get. Well, that's the beauty of Everton's fixtures being awful. We can just wait and see how they play. Kane always has a slow start. I'm not going through that again. De Bruyne will probably get a lesser return this season because he's playing slightly deeper than usual. But how much? He got 199 points last year. He can't play any deeper than he played for some of that season. He was going to pick the ball up off centre backs at points last season. So there's no way he's playing deeper. When do I plan on using my wildcard? So I don't really ever plan for that. I mean, generally when I look to bring a player in, I start looking at the next 4 to 5 fixtures. That's kind of what I've done with my game week 1 team. So if it goes tits up, I'll use the wildcard. If it doesn't, I might carry on. Thoughts on a Saints defender double up? I think that could work. For 5 million, there's a bit of value there. Good fixtures. A lot of it, I think, depends on Forster. I don't think he had a great season last year. I think he's a decent keeper, so hopefully he won't have another bad season. See that, Connor? Have I thought about how to get Hazard in? Honestly, absolutely not. I'm going to worry about that at the time. It's way too much to be thinking about right now. There's so many players to choose from already without even taking him into account. I'm just basically closing my eyes when it comes to Hazard and Sanchez. Thoughts on Company and Ritchie? So I think Company is a great shout for 6 million. Decent goal threat. If he's playing, City are much more likely, I think, to get a clean sheet. The problem is his injury record. You know, how long is he going to be playing for before you have to get rid of him? I think that's what puts people off. Ritchie he's on all set pieces, I think. So 6 million could be a nice option to start with. Am I tempted to pack the midfield rather than the forward line? Yes, I have looked at 3-5-2 quite a bit. Mende is going to come back soon enough. Why we've got Danilo? Yeah, that's true, and I might not have him. Is there a reason I'm seeing so much Alexander-Arnold? Because everyone thinks he's going to start right back for 4.5 million for Liverpool, but a few Liverpool fans I follow say he's really good, but is he going to keep Klein out of the team? I don't think so. But I don't know as much about Liverpool as others, so maybe I'm wrong. Salah and Mane had an amazing pre-season. Am I tempted to get over him in? Yes, of course. I'm not going to. I'm not going to be checking Twitter tonight. It's just too much going on in the chat to be doing that. Firmino's hitting penalties pre-season. He is, yeah, but whether or not he's definitely going to keep him, we just don't know yet, unfortunately. If we did, it'd be great. Won't keep Klein out, but Klein's injured. But how long's he injured for? It's not that long, right? Is Robertson nailed? I wish he was. I mean, 5 million's okay, but are Liverpool going to keep clean sheets? I don't know. It sounds like Milner's not going to play left back this year, so potentially yes, Robertson at 5 million could be a choice. But I think with Moreno around as well, be a little bit worried about starting with that. But Robertson is a Klopp buy, so I think it would be good. Yeah, I'm not saying this Trent Alexander, whatever his name is not going to be right back for years to come, but I don't think it's going to be this season. Don't see him keeping Klein on the bench for too long. Mourinho is a crybaby. Robertson hasn't been used in pre-season, only Moreno. I'd love it if Moreno was an option. I got a real soft spot for Moreno, especially when he's 4.5 million. Is Stevens going to be a starter for very long, as Van Dijk will surely be replaced? Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. He might not be a starter when they bring in a new defender. We don't know who will go out, Stevens and Yoshida, so it is a potential risk. 400 viewers, exactly, Si. We're looking good. It's been 400 viewers for a while now as well. People coming and going. Almost on 100 likes already. 95. Loving it. Who is the better pick, Valencia or Walker? So I think Valencia is probably more likely to get clean sheets. Walker more likely to get attacking returns. Early doors, could City pick up some clean sheets maybe? I think I'd prefer Walker. Van Dijk will be gone. Absolutely, he could, or probably will go, but surely Southampton will buy another defender. Now, they might just buy a backup for Stevens and Yoshida, but we just don't know. And all my bench players playing from the start. So Sutton should play, Carroll will definitely play, Long probably not. Elliott for now, yes, unless Newcastle buy another goalkeeper. My defence is weak. I should sacrifice Kane. Honestly, my defence isn't that weak. It really isn't. Will Speroni play ahead of Hennessy? Now, Speroni has played quite a few pre-season games, so potentially, but it's so hard to know for sure unless the boss comes out and says that. Absolutely, we're just. Do you know what I mean? We're just speculating, I suppose. Polls. We did the polls not too long ago, so I'll leave it for now. Why no Chelsea defender instead of a Man City defender? Chelsea defenders are much more expensive. Well, not much more, but they are more expensive. Carroll is a 4th mid. Yeah, okay, let me change my team up a little bit. Let me do it on the other screen. Potentially what we could do with this. So Firmino, you're a goner. Let's say we get Mooney in. Let's say Steve Mooney is the answer to all my problems. Where's Chalobah? I'm changing, I'm just doing it on the other screen. Mkhitaryan would have to become Salah. Kind of like Salah. Oh, it gives me loads of money. I don't even know where to start. Oh, here we go. This is it now. I'll get rid of Danilo because everyone's moaning about him. I'll put Davies in for now. So the Firmino draft is now a lie because I've just got rid of Firmino. Daniels will get some goals and assists, but it's getting on an age. I still think he can be decent. Starting with Mooney would be painful. Alright, well, let's have a look. This is what I changed it to. Oof. Oh, wait. Tom Carroll playing every game. But then straight away I've got... I don't know how... Chalobah is probably going to be fodder, basically. Long is dud, so... But there you go. What do we think of that? Oh shit, are these fake drafts? No. Not at all. Think I would do that? Scoutcast clash from the United game. It's just one of those things. Loftus-Cheek is a better option than Carroll. I'm not sure I agree with that. Really don't. Especially if Tom Carroll's got a monopoly on set pieces. Benteke, I think he could be right for 8 million, but you're probably looking at him for third striker. Yeah, Mooney might not score loads, but it gives me a pretty nice midfield. De Bruyne, Salah and Eriksen. I think that's decent. Then watch the Scoutcast after the game. I can't do that though. I gotta be on it. At least I think I'm on it. Find out tomorrow, I guess. A big question is which 4.5 million mids hit the ground running. I mean, I think as soon as the prices were released, Tom Carroll was the best option. I still think he is. I'm an absolute wait and see on Loftus-Cheek. Benteke for 8 million would be a waste. You might as well spend the extra 0.5 and get Firmino. I don't know if it's as simple as that though, to be honest. Especially early doors. Palace got some really nice fixtures. I mean, Benteke scored 15 goals last year. Firmino scored 11, but Firmino did get way more assists. Go budget bench and get McBurney. I've had him in a few drafts. Go 3-5-2. I mean, basically, I'd be putting McBurney in and getting like Richie for Chalobah. I don't know if that's better. But that really is a dead bench then. I don't even know. I love this time of the season. I'm getting in players I've never even seen play. I don't even know what Steve Mooney looks like. Oh yeah, that looks like a guy that could get me a few goals. Just Google him. You could probably get someone a bit better than Stevens. I mean, who would your choice be for 5 million? Not Stevens. No Alexis Sanchez. You feel like everyone will have him in their team after the first few game weeks. If he gets a brace or two at the start of the season, yeah, we're in trouble really. Mooney out for Mitrovic. Mitrovic isn't likely to start though, is he? He's definitely not a guaranteed starter. Improve my defensive midfield. I mean, does it need improving that much? I think it's pretty good. Is Trent Alexander... Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking a question. Mooney looks like Morgan Freeman. Tom Carroll's a no-brainer. Yeah, I'm honestly, yeah, not too bothered about him. Where is... Sorry, I'm just looking through here. Yes, same Ola. I have to get her to tweet me or something and I'll retweet it so everyone can give her advice. I don't want to answer any questions. People told me not to give her any help. You're all very harsh people. Oh shit. Where are we? Thoughts on Wijnaldum? Okay, Wijnaldum's an interesting conversation to have. Oh, hang on. You are a dumbass bitch. Jesus Christ. Do people really... Is that like the best insult? What a dickhead. Right. Wijnaldum. I kind of like Wijnaldum. 7 million. I think he did much better than people realised last year. Is he going to play? Probably with Lallana out. I know he's a central midfielder, but he does get forward quite a bit. So for 7 million, there's worse options, I think. But I still prefer Zaha at the moment. Such Beanie Man Sports. Oh my god. Don't worry, I'll tell you what the press conference said. We've got Steve Mooney. Stop cursing. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Just comes out, you know. I live in Ireland. They all swear here. Jesus. Iheanacho. Should you keep him? Potentially, yeah. I don't think Leicester got the best start, so at his price, and maybe if it was me, I think I'd even prefer to have Gabbiadini than Iheanacho. That's not to say you should get rid of him, but that's my personal preference. You like Fabregas? Yeah, I kind of gone off Chelsea a bit. But you're right, I do think he's going to be decent against the weaker teams. I mean, most people will. Daniels never took penalty. I don't think he did last year. He did the year before, though. It was great. Is Austin going to be a starter? It doesn't look like it. Looks like it's going to be Gabbiadini. What am I aiming for this year? To win mini leagues. Top 100 finish, that'd be great. It's not going to happen, though. Talk about Wijnaldum only scoring at home is the same as Spurs doing bad at Wembley. Yeah, okay, fair enough, yeah. I can't really argue that after all my talk about Wembley. I just think it's a bit different. I mean, there is times when that happens. Like, there was a time when Hazard only scored at home, and then, yes, next game he scored away. There are players that do better here or there, but I think the Wembley thing isn't the pitch, it's the opposition. See you later, TFF. Is Firmino a waste of space? No, I don't think so. De Bruyne a must? I don't know if he's a must. It's a good option though. What about Lacazette? Bargain, you reckon? Don't know. I don't want to buy him, to be honest. 10.5 million for a forward. I think I'm going to wait on him. I just prefer Kane and Lukaku right now. De Bruyne isn't a must. Aguero is. If De Bruyne is not a must, Aguero definitely isn't. Lukaku is statistically bad value. You're going to have to explain that one. What about Lukaku's statistics do you not like? Or is it Man United? Fuck's sake. Will Lacazette surprise us? I think he's got the potential to surprise us. Again, like I wouldn't say, if someone showed me a team with Lacazette in, I wouldn't say, wow, that's it, you've got it completely wrong. It's just not, for me, early doors. I also feel like I keep saying early doors. I probably shouldn't. Yeah, exactly. The problem with Lacazette is you've got to replace Kane or Lukaku, and if you don't, then it's very heavy up top, so your midfield suffers. It depends who out of midfield you're happy not to go with, really. Lukaku's points per 90 minutes and his price don't match. That's fair enough, okay. But he can absolutely smash it in the first 5 game weeks and then go off the ball. And his point per 90 could be good for the games you own him for. I don't know. I don't see many teams about Lukaku, but do you know what I mean? It could be a nice way to get out the rankings straight away. Lacazette is the only viable fantasy option from Arsenal, and they have Leicester and Stoke. Don't know if he's... Well, he's maybe the only one right now. Can you subscribe? Yeah, of course you can subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button. Anyone should do that who's new around here. Also, hit that like button. It'd be appreciated. Are people trying to sabotage other teams with some of these suggestions? Nah, I think everyone's just got different opinions. Lots of advice from Super Tiger. I don't know if she's still watching. She might be. She's probably fallen asleep. Who is the best bet in West Brom mids? Probably Phillips for me. Funny thing is, it's called the Firmino Draft, but there's no Firmino in the team. I know, but he did last for like... We've been on for an hour and 26 minutes. He lasted about an hour and 10 minutes. So for anyone watching from the start, it will be the Firmino Draft. Is Herrera an option at 5.5? No, I don't think so. It's not for me. No, I don't think so. Ali versus Liverpool mids. I think Ali's going to outscore them. Although he does have to play at Wembley. How's it going, Derby? Doing pretty good. Who starts up front for Tottenham? It should be Gabbiadini, we think. Explain my back three. It's changed a lot since last time. So Daniels has been around for quite a while. Davies is basically a Trippier replacement. And I'm liking Stevens at 5, but that might change. Stevens is probably the most likely to change. I'd like to find 0.5 million more and get Kolasinac instead of Davies. To be honest. Do I watch GAA or GAR, as I'm supposed to call it? No, not really. In fact, I was... Actually, no, it was hurling. Trying to watch the Community Shield, and they turned it off with 5 minutes to go. Put hurling on. Nightmare. Lukaku will be this year's Costa, a goal a game. I hope you're right. Under what circumstances would you go for a centre-back over a wing-back? I mean, it depends on price, depends on their team. I mean, there's, for example, Crystal Palace, right? Let's say both... Well, Van Aanholt's a wing-back, so yeah, he's probably worth 0.5 million more over Dan, but Dan is still quite a nice option at 5 million. So you save 0.5 and you still have someone with goal threat. So I wouldn't necessarily always go for the fullback over centre-back. Like at Swansea, the guy I'd want from their defence is probably Mawson. Have you not seen Father Ted? Yeah, I've seen Father Ted. Did I miss something? I'm not Irish, but we live in Galway. Danilo is a good option, yeah. I think so, yeah, too, for the first couple of game weeks. But I'm probably going to go for someone longer term. Coutinho isn't leaving. I think he'll probably stay, but we'll see. Yes, I would like Ryan Bertrand instead of Stevens, but he's 0.5 million more. Thoughts on the Coutinho transfer rumours? It's just rumours for now. It does sound like trying to piece everything together that Barcelona are quite interested, but I don't know if he's going to go. Am I mates with Ed Sheeran? No. Unfortunately not. Sanchez and Redmond or Ali and Coutinho? Definitely Ali and Coutinho. Although I'd probably go Ali and Sané. Sané? No. Salah, sorry. What's my take on Cedric, Daniels and Kolasinac as a back three? That's pretty much what I'm like kind of aiming for, so yeah, I think it's decent. Yeah, basically falling out of J-Rob because of West Brom, but not I'm not completely against him yet. I'll just say that. Am I really starting with Spurs triple up? Yeah, Spurs are great at Wembley. Where did I finish last year? Like 4,785. I say that as if I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. 4,785. That rings a bell. Oh yeah, this is awkward. I'm the owner of the league. I just messaged you. Lanzini, mate, what about him? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I think Lanzini will be okay, but again, he's 7 million. I think there's other options I'd like to keep for now. Go for now, like Zaha, maybe even Wijnaldum. Just, I don't know about West Ham. I'm not really set on them, and they got 3 away games to start, so I'm like kind of waiting for them. I think I'd rather never eat chocolate again than change my last name. Why do I have no West Brom players? That's a good question. Can replace Neymar. Ousmane Dembele looks a good option. Thought William was your go-to. You're correct. You did. I did think that at one point. Kind of gone off that a bit now, if I'm honest. See points for Everton. Yeah, I think you just got to wait and see on Everton. I hate saying that for so many teams, but they got such awful fixtures. Yeah, Ramsey, if he's injured, I mean, he'll probably step into the side instead of El Neni. We'll have to wait and see. Mark is getting Alonso and Valencia. Is he? Fair enough. Is that true? Is he posted that? I'm not big on going that big in defence, I don't think. Especially not Valencia. I'm really not up for him at all. I don't know. I need to maybe look at reducing the midfielder down up in the defence, but I don't think it'll be to Alonso and Valencia. I think I maybe even prefer Azpilicueta to Valencia, but I mean, Man United are pretty much should be guaranteed clean sheets to start with, so I'll see. I mean, people keep asking me about Bailly. I was against him originally, but I'm slowly coming around to that. Oh, it was the Burn article. I've not read it, to be honest. Surprised at that though. I'll have a read of that. Oh, here we go. Rotation pairs. Who turns down Barcelona? Neymar. Maybe that's not fair. Who the hell is Mooney? He's the best striker at 6 million. Do I not think Spurs might struggle for clean sheets without Walker and Trippier? No, not necessarily. What's the code for the league? It's below. It's in the description below the stream. I ranked just inside the top 5k last year. See, Phil knows where it's at. Do I think Hennessy's a good shout? Not with Speroni starting in pre-season. I think we kind of like more info on that. Mawson or Dan? I think I'd prefer to start with Scott Dan straight away. Just because of the fixtures. But Mawson might be in my team soon enough. Rooney or Zaha? Zaha. To start off. Again, like, just Everton's fixtures are that bad. Really not. Although, did I not see that Morales is on penalties? Or he took penalty. I don't know what the circumstances were around it, if I'm honest. Didn't read that properly. That was misleading. That was clickbait, and it worked. Mawson is heavily reliant on Sigurdsson to avoid. Yeah, possibly. We'll have to see how good Carroll is. They're taking over those set pieces. Best 6 million defender. I like Company or Kolasinac. I mean, Bailly could be good for clean sheets, to be fair. And maybe bonus? I don't know. I suppose it depends how many goals you think Man United are going to win by. If you think we're going to win at all. How come I remove Kolasinac? Just a cost thing, really. I'd say this is still... I wouldn't say it's far off my full team, but there's going to be changes before Thursday. I'm going to try and have my full team done on Thursday. And people can rip it apart. I still don't know who's going to start in their midfield. I guess Henderson's still out. You got Chan around. Milner maybe. Coutinho obviously, because you got Firmino, Salah, and Mane in the front three. Was 13 assists once for Juventus, so 10 and 10 could happen. Be a nice return if you got that. Do you ever worry if the vast majority of your squad are away from home the same weekend? No, not really. I mean, it doesn't always happen like this. I tend to look at like the next 4 to 5 fixtures usually, just for that single player. So I won't look at Lukaku and see, oh, he's got away games, so therefore I don't want Kane, or, you know, just as an example. So no, basically. Hub, edit league, delete league. I can't do it. I've tried, honestly. It just says so hub, yeah, edit league, delete league. It's not even an option. The purple bit's not there. It says you can't delete your team as the draft has started. So even though I'm the league owner, I can't do it. Am I comfortable with Carroll as a fourth mid? Comfortable. Don't know about comfortable. I have a feeling my final draft will include, will have Carroll back as a fifth mid. Despite the fact I see your streams when we share some mini leagues, we only have 3 out of 5 in common. Something tells me you're wrong. Nah, not necessarily. Oh no, you're wrong. As in, I'm not wrong, you are. Nah, I don't think that's true. There's so many options. Don't panic about it. Right, last chance to vote on the polls. Top right hand corner. Check it out. Vote as often as you can, which is once, and I'll read them out in a sec. Defoe or Bontek, stop asking me in caps. Yeah, I wouldn't go for a 4 million defender like Rangel necessarily. If he's not going to play, then he's quite possibly falling price quite a lot. Why aren't you considering Lindelof? Isn't he nailed? Aren't you United? Well, I'm not personally Man United. But no, he's not guaranteed to start. It could be Phil Jones game week 1. Not edit entry, edit league, I think. Oh, no, hang on. Ah, Jesus, okay. Okay, I see it, but it won't let me delete it still. It's probably because it's fucked. Yeah, I'll try that tomorrow. It's not letting me do it, but I see where it is now. What stopped you liking the look of 5.5 goalkeeper with Elliott? Just to spread the funds elsewhere, basically. You need a better defence. Wow, I actually think I've got quite a bit spent on my defence. I mean, 5, 5 and 5.5, is that not kind of standard? I don't know. Ward-Prowse or Xhaka? Do you know what? Xhaka, I looked at him in the Community Shield and thought, he's quite cheap. He's on free kicks. He's got a pretty good pass on him. He's going to get some assists, but I just don't know. Yellow and red cards. Change Kane, seriously. I find it really surprising with comments like that. Like, fair enough if you don't think he's worth starting with, that's absolutely fine. But to be so against him as an option, strange. Okay, I've deleted that league by the way. Now, Matt. At least I got an email. I didn't show it, but it's gone. Chicholito versus Gabbiadini, both guaranteed 10 goals plus. 10 goals, yeah, I can see that. I like Gabbiadini to start just because of the fixtures. Kane does good, just not at the start. I'm not going to go through this again, but if you can, go back and rewatch the start of the stream where I moaned about that argument. I can understand your goalkeeper, but I can't understand your defence when you got Rose probably starting over Davies. When he's back, yeah. And Jack Stevens. Well, I mean, Stevens is probably going to start for now. To be fair, though, with Kane, what I will say is a lot of it stems from being so expensive, so people don't want to pay it. And it happened with Aguero last year and the year before that a lot... And I've probably done it myself, to be honest. I've tried to go against him because he's so expensive, and I try and convince myself I don't really want to spend all that money. Now, obviously, Aguero, in the end, he scored 20 goals, but generally wasn't a good pick last year. So maybe Kane will do the same, but I'm just not so sure about that. How many hat-tricks did Kane have at the end of the season last year? Yeah, but to be honest, I also don't like that as an argument because he was just hitting... He was just shooting on sight, basically. There's a few goals against Leicester where I just thought Schmeichel should have done better. I think Leicester didn't really have much to play for at that point. Kane was just shooting on sight for the golden boot, so I wouldn't take that into consideration too much. But he's still a great striker, so he's in my team. Defoe or Benteke? I like Benteke, to be honest, to start with. Do I fear potential price rises for the most expensive players if you go without them? Not really. I mean, I've got Kane in for one reason is that I can just downgrade him to anyone as needed. It's always nice having the most expensive player. I don't really fear him, no. There's so many options, I can't cover everything. Fantasy Football Scout Mini League Kit. I don't know, you'd have to go on the site and find it. Right, let's check out the polls a second. How's it going, Jason? See how many subs we gained tonight. Wow, we're on 1750. That's over 50 subs tonight. Make sure to keep hitting that like button if you haven't already, if you've been enjoying the stream. 128 likes. Crazy. Alright, so the polls. Now, it's going to be the last time I go through them. So, can Tom Carroll be a 5th mid? 58% now saying no. There's been 246 votes. So, 58% say no. 41% say yes. Best budget Saints defender, 61% say Cedric. Again, it's over 250 people have voted. So 61% say Cedric, 19% say Stevens, 18% say Yoshida. Best 7 million mid, 53% say Zaha. It's basically the same as before. So 53% say Zaha, 31% say Willian, 8% Fabregas, 4% Wijnaldum, and 2% other. So the other has gone down a bit. Jesus, can't get my words out. Can Gabbiadini redeem himself? 37% say yes, 33% say you're tempted by the fixtures, and 29% of you say no. Will tomorrow's Scoutcast influence any of my decisions? Probably. Usually does. There's always something I haven't thought about, a player I've completely missed, or whatever. So yeah, maybe. We'll see. You'll see on Thursday, like, I've got a lot of changes probably to make by Thursday, so if you tune in again there at the same time, you'll see my my draft. I really do think I'm going to need some beer on Thursday. How's it going, Andrew? Yeah, catch up. It'll be all ready to watch. Did I consider Van Arnold? Not too much, but I probably should. Missing the Super Cup? Yeah, unfortunately. Hadn't even thought about that, to be honest. Like, didn't click that the two would be on at the same time. Right, people, I think I don't want to wrap it up, to be honest. There's so many people watching, but I've kind of got to. But I'll be back Thursday for sure. Do appreciate everybody that tuned in today. It's been absolutely crazy. Never had this many people before. Just to give you an idea, we were up on over 410 people at one point, and I think the most I had before that was 260. So absolutely crazy. Maybe we'll even break 500 on Thursday. So yeah, I'll be gonna record something live on Wednesday. We might do questions afterwards. Otherwise, Thursday will be the next stream like this one. So make sure to tune into that. I've already said it a few times, but if you are new around here, hit the subscribe button. It'll be really appreciated. It will let you know when I'm going live next time. And hit the like button if you've enjoyed it. Hit the like button. 400 people. Would really appreciate that. It kind of gets the stream out there even more, and maybe we'll have even more people around next time. But until then, I'm going to shoot off. I think I've answered so many questions already tonight. I need to go to bed, work tomorrow, but I'll 100% be back later in the week. We can do this all over again. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you later on.